Hey folks, alright, tonight we're going to take a look at the Jagdtiger 88, or Jagdtiger 88, as the Germans call it. I've labeled mine the Bismarck. Good and bad things about this tank. I'll tell you what, this is where we're at. I would say this is probably going to be a sunset review, because this year at some point they've said that they're going to replace all of the preferential matchmaking premium tanks, and in their first sweep they got rid of the TOG and the Panzer M10, which, okay, fine. But then they also got rid of the Dicker Max and the FCM Pack 40, the 36 Pack 40, which doesn't make sense because those don't have preferential matchmaking. But they have their reasons. Obviously, there's a ton of, though they've gotten rid of, let's see. If they get rid of this, at this point, there won't be any German tank destroyer. And maybe that's what they're going for. You know what, guys? I can't see them ever removing, well, but by definition they could remove both the SU-85I and the SU-100Y. They've already gotten rid of, now they've gotten rid of the Dicker Max and the E-25, so it's very possible now they've gotten rid of the 36 Pack 40. Maybe they're going for all of the premium tank destroyers. Maybe they're just like the artillery, they've decided that the tank destroyers are too popular and they're just going to wipe out all of the trainers. Very possible, guys. I don't know where this is going, but right now I'm looking at the list of tanks that have been removed, and you know what? The Dicker Max and the E-25 are gone. This tank is going to probably be gone by the end of this year. We'll have no German tank destroyer trainers, and there's no French tank destroyer trainers. Interesting. I just picked that one up while I was talking, so I don't know. Maybe throw that around, think about it. So far, we still have all of our all of our Russian premium tank destroyers. And we still have the AT-15A, and that just got moved to preferential matchmaking last year, so maybe that was like a planning ahead thing, and then they're going to remove it this year. So we'll see. If they get rid of that one, then all we'll have left are the Russian ones, and they're probably going to get rid of those too. Wouldn't surprise me. So find out what happens. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, back to the Jagdtiger 88. Jagdtiger 88. This is patch 9.6. We're fast moving on to 9.7 here, and I think, like I said, the sunset's coming up on this guy. Now, probably the strongest point of this tank is its ability to bring in income. Now, that's been hampered a little bit as of late, because I've found that over the last maybe 15, 20 games that I've played in it, it never was a completely effective tank, but it had some staying power because it has good armor on the front, and you could oftentimes scare your opponents into staying put, because they wouldn't risk trying to go around you because you'd tear them to shreds as they pulled out. But now we have so many newer, faster tanks in the game that it doesn't deter people anymore. And more often than not, I find myself getting surrounded in this tank, and that is where we look at the weaknesses. So let's go ahead and talk about strengths and weaknesses. The strengths, first of all, of course, the gun. We have the same gun that's mounted on the Tiger, or similar to the Tiger. It's also the same gun that is mounted onto the Pack 88. So not the Pack 88, the Panther 88, the new premium tank, the medium. However, what distinguishes it on this tank this tank destroyer versus the other tanks is that the rate of fire is about 4.5 seconds with a good crew. So I'm using the vents. I'm also using 100% crew, at this point 116%. And what that ends up equaling is that we have a tank that it has an oppressive rate of fire. It does 240 damage every 5.5 seconds, and it's got 203 penetration. Now on Tier 8, that's not bad. It's not great, but it's good, and you can penetrate almost everything that you faced at Tier 8 and almost everything you face at Tier 9. If you're not able to, you don't know how to hit weak spots, and you shouldn't be driving this tank. So, this tank has a very accurate gun, though. Let's look at these stats here. 31 dispersion at 100 millimeters. That is one of the lowest dispersions I've seen in the game. 2-second aim time. Incredible. So you're going to aim fast, and you're going to be accurate when you fire. And that is a big, big bonus on this tank. The other big strength of this tank, of course, if you look at the armor layout, we have 250 on the front, 80 on the sides, 80 on the back. Now, of course, back and sides are weak. 250 on the front of a tank destroyer. That's almost as much armor. Actually, I think it's more armor. Let's take a look here. As you guys know, the T-29 is the beloved because of its Rock of Gibraltar turret at 279. So, and even at Tier 9, we have the M103 that has 254 on the front of the turret. So, yeah, I mean, that is a really high amount for a tank destroyer to have 250 on the front. Now, that's a little bit misleading. You still have this giant weak spot, and people that know, you run into a tortoise, guy knows what he's doing, he's going to pen right through this every time. Also, your bottom plate is extremely weak, so despite the fact that you have good upper area, this downside here, or the underside, is a downside. And this is, of course, a weakness. Because of that, you're going to have to keep this whole area covered if possible. So your scenario is, if you're in the city, you need to find somewhere, a long alleyway preferably, that has rocks that, or debris that climb up like this, or a wall where you can put this section of the tank behind it. As you know, it's only going to work on one side of the road. If you're on the other side, it's going to go like this. Pray that the opponent doesn't know how to shoot here, or that their penetration isn't high enough to go through here. Obviously, these little things they're all weak spots, but this is a big weak spot. It'll go through and actually damage the tank. So now for the cons, and we've kind of hit on the first one. Well, the bottom is weak. The sides are weak. Now, I remember running against these in my Super Pershing when I was, 2 years ago, when the game was only a year or two old, and obviously with the 4 years there. And I was having difficulty even penning these from the side if they were angled properly. So this does give you some decent armor angle if you can get it angled or get above them. They're going to have a hard time penning. But once they get to the side of the tank or the back, even tier 7 tanks will not have an issue going through. So you have to make sure that you have somebody with you if possible, even when you're holding a valley. If somebody gets smart and decides to push, even in their KV-13 or their T-43 or any tank that has more than 80 penetration, pretty much, scouts, you're going to be pretty vulnerable to being hit in the back. And of course you get this nice flat area to shoot right here. This is pretty flat, though it has some angling to it, but it's unreliable on the back and sides. And it's a tank destroyer, guys. I mean, it is what it is. So, but it's slow, and here's where this is hurting. This is the second big, and I think this is a bigger detriment than the armor layout or being able to be flanked. It's your speed and your traverse speed, and this is what really hampers this tank from becoming a winner. Now, I played this tank many games on Sunday. I could not get above a $60,000 game. I used to get $100,000 games every 4 battles. I don't know what's changed, aside from, like I said before, there being more people running fast tanks, but it's an odd thing. I can't get the tank to perform for me like I used to be able to. Still like it, but I can't get it to perform. And one of the big issues is this. It's the mobility. Once you get into a situation, that's the situation that you're in. And you're probably not going to be able to change that situation very much because it takes so long for the tank to traverse from one location to another. And the other problem, of course, speaking of traverse, is your traverse speed of 22. It's a very slow traverse. Obviously, clutch braking is going to make a difference. Off-road driving is going to make a difference. But it's still going to be like 24, 25. It's not a fast-turning tank. So when you have somebody flank you, once again, you're in big trouble. And if the tide of battle swings so that the other side of the bet came, and of course you guys know lately, it's always the other side that falls, right? I mean, that's how I feel. I don't know that that's necessarily always the truth, but it oftentimes feels like the other side just, like half the team goes that way or more, and they fall apart in the first 3 minutes, and then you guys are flanked. And that's happened a lot with me lately in this tank, and I feel frustrated. I do better, obviously, when I platoon with people, so that does help, but it's just been a frustrating experience lately playing this tank. So be prepared for that. It is not a game changer tank, and it doesn't have the alpha really to scare people away. However, the rate of fire in certain situations will, and that's what we were talking about at the beginning. If you get in a valley or an alley and you can get your bottom plate protected, you can hold maybe 2 or even 3 tanks sometimes from advancing. And you're keeping them busy, hoping that the rest of your team is doing well, beating up the other guys while you're tying up a quarter of their team. And that happens sometimes. So that's, I guess that could fall under a strength. So, the other big pro, and of course I'm jumping back and forth now, but I wanted to cover this too. The Jagdtiger 88 makes, good credit and good experience. So, even compared to, if I have a great game in the IS-6, it's about an average game in this tank. If I have a great game in the Super Pershing, it's about a slightly above average in this tank destroyer. If I have a great game in this tank destroyer, I'm going to earn 50,000 more than I will in any of my other premium tanks. It just earns money like there's like because it can penetrate and because the ammo is relatively cheap. I think it's like 200 something around. Let's take a look at that. Boop. No, 252 around. Yeah, I was right on that, wasn't I? So that makes it much cheaper to fire this tank, and because it's going to penetrate, you're going to get that damage, whereas like the Super Pershing, you kind of have to use gold ammo more often to penetrate some of the higher tier tanks. So for what it's worth, this tank makes more money than any of my other premium tanks, and I think a lot of people would agree with that statement. In some cases, like the Super Pershing, it's maybe like 10% more. In cases like the IS-6, where you're firing $1,000 a round, I'm making double the amount of money in this tank, 50% or 100% more. So, you know, if I'm making a $30,000 battle in that, I'm getting a $60,000 or $80,000 battle in this. That's where this tank shines. So it's a good money maker. It's not a game changer, and because of that, and let's take a look at the stats here. This is where I get into trouble. Now, I will say this. Over the last year, this has gone way up. I used to be at a 42% win rate with this tank, but the more I play it, I've gotten, and I swear to you, I've gotten lucky. It is not me. I've done some things better. I mean, it has to be me, but I've raised it up, 7, 8%. It could also be because I've been playing, a lot of times I platoon with guys when I'm running this now, so I have other people that are helping to shape the battle, but this has gone up significantly, so I'm almost at a 50% win rate with it, which for me, those of you that have watched this channel, that's pretty good for Arthur in a premium tank, and case in point, here we have the Super Pershing with a 46% win rate. I've gotten better in this. This used to be like 34 or 32, so I'm going in the right direction. Same thing here, even proof positive. Most guys have a 60% win rate in their SG-122-44. I got 51. Anyway, case in point. This tank is actually doing okay for me win-wise, but if you're a new player or you have a newer crew, you probably are going to be a little bit frustrated your first couple battles with this tank, maybe your first 100 battles with this tank. It's going to be a little bit of a frustrating experience because it is a slow behemoth, and there's not a whole lot you can do if your team gets steamrolled. Now, that said, I've had situations where I've been able to flip it and actually take that situation and win a game because I've been able to outgun the last 2 or 3 little tanks that are left, even though they've wiped everybody else out. But it's definitely harder. I feel better in, like, say, my AT-15 or the AT-7 on those kind of games where I have 5 guys left and I'm by myself. In the AT-7, I've got a pretty good chance of winning. As you've seen on some of my Lucky videos, go watch my Luckies with the AT-7. There's at least 3 of them in there where I'm the last tank and there's 4 or 5 tanks left and I beat them all. This tank does not have that same staying power. I would say maybe 2 or 3 tanks, 2 tanks max probably would be where I would say you might beat them with this tank. If you have help, then you will beat them. But it on its own, if you get surrounded, you're done for. So anyway, that's my spiel. Let's go ahead and run this guy, and we'll talk about whether it's worth it or not at the end. And off we go. Oh boy, Winterberg. Going city. So this is my 3rd game, actually. You haven't seen the first 2 because they were just bad. Now, the first one was just a complete rout. I kind of get to the point where I almost feel like, I don't know, the pubs are kind of ruined in this game at this point. They're just they're so bad. I don't know what's happened to the game, but the pubs have got, I don't know, maybe people feel like that, but it's been 3 years for me, and I cannot remember, even when I was a bad player, teams being this bad over and over and over again. It's like this stream of bad teams, and it doesn't mean you win or lose. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them, but it's very unbalanced, and you almost always see the entire team going one direction or the other. Nobody knows how to read their mini maps anymore, or if they do, they don't show it. So when you get a good team, it's kind of like, whoa, a good team, but they're rare. It's I don't know, it's been a frustrating experience the last couple days. Now, when I platoon with my friends and with you guys who are my friends, so anybody that watches my channel that's a decent player, Sophie from my clan, actually a lot of my clan guys, most of my clan guys are really good. When I platoon up or when we do strongholds, it's a gratifying experience because we have good players and they know what they're doing, and we get out there and we kick some butt. But the pub matches for me are kind of ruined.
That one didn't go through.
Oh boy.
We've lost a track.
Gonna have to get that turn forward here. I'm kind of exposed underneath for the Luva.
Enemy armor is hit.
This is where you want to be, though. I'm gonna try to see if I can keep that lower plate covered, because that's what I'm getting hit on.
We didn't even scratch them.
This is.
Our main gun is damaged. It's working, but not very well.
So here's where you could take the hits,
Penetrate their armor.
and this is what's fun about the tank.
Enemy armor is damaged.
But I need to. Oh, I fixed my tracks. I don't have my gun. Now the T-34, he's not gonna have an issue getting through my front plate. So, but thankfully I'm having help here.
We didn't even scratch them.
The harm player is going after me. Sucks that my gun broke.
Penetration.
T-34 is gonna aim at me.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
I can take most of the hits from these guys. That's
Enemy
the.
armor is damaged.
The I-6 is going to have to gold me. The T-34 is the only one I'm really concerned about, and I should be.
Enemy armor is hit.
This is where this tank, once again,
That one didn't go through.
he's got his bottom exposed, so if we can... I just hope I don't get... Well, it doesn't matter at this point. I'm almost dead anyway, but... I can't get the accuracy I need to hit that weak spot.
We didn't even scratch them.
So we'll try this one up here.
We didn't penetrate their
Nope.
armor.
Come on, guys.
That one bounced. Vision device is damaged.
He's trying to HE me to death, so I need to back out. Oh, somebody got him, so I'm backing out. I'm going to see if I can get out of here alive. I can't believe I survived that. It was smart of that Jagdtiger. He did the right thing by trying to HE me to death. But now these T-34s have got around him. The T-29 is getting in my face. This sucks. I want to get up there and start doing some damage. I got to be careful though, because... Oh. See if I can hit him through there.
Ricochet.
Yeah, we need to get this guy busy.
We didn't even scratch
I don't know if I'm going to have the... oomph. Wow, this is a crazy game. Looks like we're winning so far, but that could all change. Oh, no!
Enemy armor is damaged.
Crap. Come on, dude. Okay, just be still. Oh, lagging out. Gotta really watch. There we go. Nice. Okay, so you saw there, and that was close. It was a real close game. I don't always recommend doing that, and I didn't necessarily do it to prove a point, but I kind of did. You can withstand a lot of hits, and you know, if we hadn't gotten that Jagdtiger 88 on the other side, he would have killed me. I only had 47 health left. It might take him, but voila, there you go. Steer wall, Spartan. Once again, I don't recommend necessarily that being the best position for the tank. I probably could have done a little better further back, but shell-proof. Yeah, fire for effect. And let's take a look at the team score. 2,000 damage. The experience, I was at the top. Yeah, I love that, you know. And then take-home pay when I'm premium, that would have only been 36,000 if it would have been a regular game. As premium, it was 63. Nice take-home. So, not great, but nice. It was decent. Here's another prime map for this tank. Got good matchmaking again. It all depends on the demographic that's playing the night that you're playing. There's a lot of people on tonight, so I feel like I am... finally got a Top Gun. Yeah, I still haven't gotten the Top Gun for my S6. I feel like if there's a lot of people on, your chances of getting a lot of Tier 8 battles are better, obviously. But you will see your fair share of Tier 9 battles, and this tank does okay in Tier 9 battles. Hi, Goosey. All right. As long as those who are defending promise to come back. Now, this town is a little bit tougher because there's not a lot of cover for your guns. And it all depends on where these guys go. I can't get surrounded, so you got to be very careful because the fast movers will move through the city. So I kind of got to hang back a little bit and hopefully be of help. Though not enough guys went to the city. Wow, this is not good. Oh. Well, play it like you want to lose. I guess we're going to lose another one. I got bad feelings about this. We'll see. Who knows? Their team could be just as bad. Now, here's the problem. So once we get into this town, there's not a whole lot of rubble to be found. And they have a pretty high tier arty, so I got to worry about that guy. So really, this is probably as far in as I'm going to push for right now. Though I am susceptible to artillery here, I should know within seconds if I'm spotted, and then I can move in to town a little bit further. But I don't want to get in there. Once again, this is not a frontline tank. What I showed you the last battle was because it was a situation that worked for this tank, but it's not, you know, the best situation for it. You want to definitely keep it back a little bit. All right, now we're going to move up. Now that we've made contact, that means their guys are going to be focused over there. Uh-huh.
That one bounced.
Didn't have time to aim, and now I'm spotted. So, got to keep moving now. There is no stopping. As you can see, the artillery's coming in. Fire shots being fired. I need to snuggle in here by the building. Churchill 7's not going to penetrate this tank. And you can see here, mobility, mobility, mobility. These guys all went one direction. So, hopefully...
Enemy armor is hit.
This IS-3, I don't really want to run into him by myself. But T-150 out of nowhere. He probably was appeared a minute ago. I didn't hear it go, though. And this is not a nice spot to be, but I'm going to keep backing if I can. Nope, no dice.
Penetration.
So we're going to have to push this dude because he's put me in a very bad position.
We've lost the track.
Gotta get owned by a tier 6 tank. I don't want a repair kit. I probably should. But now this guy's on the run.
Let's go.
Got him under control. We've lost the city. And like I said, we've lost it because why? Well, not enough people went this way. And once again, the mobility, getting the gun into play, it's very slow. And the artillery got me.
Everyone get out.
So, yeah. And that happens to this tank too. Like I said, there's not a lot you can do. You're going to be the arty magnet because you're slow. And that guy was obviously, I mean, how long did I stop for? Maybe a second? So he was working on me the whole time and waiting to kill me. So, yeah, what are you going to do? So that's why this city is not a good match for this tank. Because there's really nowhere to put your armor to hide it, like you saw and you get surrounded, and it's that welcome to the Jagdtiger 88. If you want to make money, it's cool, but if you want to get frustrating experiences, yeah, that's what's going to happen sometimes. So, but this team was absolute crap. Look at this team. And I said it from the start. And there you go. All right, Black Chicken's going to join me. All right, support. And so take a look at this last battle. I didn't do a whole lot of anything. Didn't make any money either. So it gets that bad. That's with premium 15,000. Yuck. And just shows you how bad the team was. Oh well, let's do it. All right, so I got Black Chicken on my team now. Thank you, Black Chicken, for joining me. This has been a bad night. You're welcome. So we have matching Jagdtiger 88s.
Let's get this show on the road.
Oh no! And as soon as I get Black Chicken, I'm going to get terrible lag. So we're going to try to work together here, and I'm going to let Black Chicken do a little leading. Look how much faster he is than me. He must be using some kind of perk on his crew. Got our E75 on the other side, so typical strange tier X meeting. Or tier IX meeting. You got the matchmaking a lot of times for the Jagdtiger 88 gets it's weird like this. Like you have like 3 tier 9s and then a bunch of tier 8s, and that's the kind of weird matchmaking you'll get when you pull this thing. All right, so we got some action going on over here. Our scout tank is getting tenderized. I don't have a great cover here for the bottom half of my tank, but we don't. I only do have an RD, so we could be inviting a big hit right here. Oh, sailed over his head. I didn't have a big target to fire at, but the good news is that we have most of their tanks over here, so.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
Yeah, and the T-43 is going to be kind of hard on the front, so. Oh, Black Chicken's moving up. Gonna get down here.
Enemy armor is damaged.
We're gonna work this platoon here.
Penetration.
Driver's hatch, and that's the nice thing once again with this tank. You can hit those weak spots, though.
That one didn't go through. Enemy armor is damaged.
And I'm asking for artillery. Oh.
Bleeding. We can't rely on it. We didn't even scratch them.
So I need to move up because I'm getting hammered by artillery.
One of our trucks is damaged.
T-49. Bad news. BC fallback.
This
Well,
vehicle is had it.
yeah, can't do anything about that. Oh well, what are you gonna do? And once again, Black Chicken completely out-survives me. That's why he has a 55% win rate or higher. Oh well. So here we see Black Chicken. He's still alive, tearing it up. I would not say we're mopping up because we've lost the other side. We're mopping up on this side, but the other side has fallen. So, but you can see here, he's boldly moving up. And the T-54 E1 is going to focus fire on maybe the Tiger. He's reloading, probably. These guys are done for. There we go. Tiger's getting walloped. Black Chicken is now getting walloped also from an Invisitank. And they got the SU-122-44, so let's see what happens. Black Chicken's been doing pretty good with this tank, though. He's leading out with it, which, once again, it's not a style that I necessarily choose, but he did good. And he got into a good position, whereas I, on the other hand, came in behind him and didn't have the position, so. Let's see what happens. Oh! Oh! What on earth? Well, at least it's payback time. That IS-8, I think. What was it? Yeah, I got the Tiger one. Oh no. Well, we may not win this. Looks like they all came back. Try to get that cover. Good job. Okay, the KV-4 is done. I'm not sure. Let's take a look real quick. Oh, E75 full health. Now he looks, is that stock gun? Might be a stock gun. Got a full health Jagdtiger. Got a pretty injured scout. And then these two guys. So, he's, Black Chickens, these guys are not going to probably be able to penetrate him. They're going to try, but they're busy. So you can see what a good player does in the Jagdtiger 88 versus me. He just rips it to shreds. And that's typical. You know, guys that are real good like that, they do tend to rip things up like that. So this guy's doing a good job spotting in his T-34-1. Keeping that IS-8 lit up. Though the SU-122 should be right here, but he's kind of disappeared. Nice. And he's just using, there he is, look at the pile. See that? He's using the pile for cover. And that's the trick, you know. And that SU-122 has decided to hit the T-34-1, but he gets him back. And now the IS-8's in trouble. Got Super Dominator and Common 1. Oh, yeah. Sweetness. And Black Chicken is doing the way it, now he's sniping. Now, as you can see, though, a lot of misses. And, you know, that's something, I don't remember it being that bad, but okay. People say I'm nuts. That the accuracy change didn't change things that much, but take him out already. There we go. Nice. So Black Chicken showing us how it should be done. Check out this. So I made 53,000, though my take home will not be that much. I did pretty good, actually. Look, he did 4,000 damage. Man, oh man. Top high caliber steel wall. Look at my take home. All right, so taking a look, Black Chicken made 116,000, and man, 98,000 brought home. His W&8 was 5,300. Awesome, awesome game. So that's somebody showing you how to do it. I can't show you how to do it. Black Chicken will show you the way to do it. So let's do one more. This is not a favorite map of mine for this tank, but whatever. Where you want to go. I actually probably could have Black Chicken come in on chat because he's actually a pretty quiet guy. Real nice guy.
Move out.
He said, respect our yellowness. Oh, I'm a tomato. Yeah, so guys like Black Chicken, they're the guys that you want to watch play, because anybody that carries a 55% or higher win rate through pubs is doing something right. And, you know, like there we saw, he got aggressive when he needed to get aggressive. He was passive when he needed to be passive. He put the right combination of moves together. Now, got light action going on. Oh, we just lost one. The LTTB is spotted though, so that kind of helped a little bit, but not a ton. Let's see where Black Chicken takes up position and let him do his thing. So we got E25 spotted. And I'm going to hang here for a minute. Yeah, and he did what I thought he would do. And we've lost our second scout. And getting hit by the IS-3, back out. Got an IS-3 getting real aggressive here. And BC is getting clobbered by artillery.
Critical hit.
Well, I critted something, but nothing worth mentioning.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Black Chicken's getting pelted.
Penetration. Penetration. Direct hit.
Woo, that was close.
We're trying to cover for him.
Yeah, the FE's.
Commander is knocked out.
Yeah, but I'm in trouble. Big trouble. I gotta get out of here. Something with a high rate of fire is hitting me. I've lost my commander and I've lost my gunner. Thanks to artillery, I'll get the gunner back. But I'm spotted here. Oh, the artillery's really got us clobbered.
Critical hit.
So I need to back up. You know the artillery's aiming towards us. So at this point, I'm just going to get to cover. We got T-44 moving in here.
Critical hit.
What? Come on. Dang it.
Bailout.
Well,
This vehicle has had it.
yep, and that's what happens when you get a game with 3 artillery. You're screwed pretty much. So whether we win or not, we might win this, but when the artillery starts focusing on you, You just can't get, the whole time I spent, you saw that. I'm trying to retreat, I'm trying to retreat, I'm trying to retreat. Just can't get out of there in time. That's the reality of this tank, so somehow I got a mission on that one. First strike. Let's see. Whatever. At least I got my kits back, but man. So that, you know, honestly, and you saw even there, and then we got defeated, that even Black Chicken's awesomeness can't stop the onslaught of artillery. Once you get slapped down with artillery, and once they get focused on you, you know, with Black Chicken, it's probably a little bit harder because he's a, you know, he's got a good color rating in XVM, so he probably gets targeted all the time. They went after him first, and then went after little yellow old me. So, but yeah, this is what you're going to run into in this tank. I want to give you a realistic expectation of yeah, look at that awful income, 15,000. I mean, is that worth even bothering the time that I spent driving the tank? But that's a reality in the Jagdtiger 88. So, is it worth the money? It just depends on what kind of night you're having, man. If you're having an on game and you want to hop in here and make some credits, it does. Look at this. I mean, I've earned almost 300,000 credits in the last. Let's say I played 2 games before you guys hopped in, and then the 4 games that I played with Black Chicken. So in 6 games, I've made roughly 300,000 credits, maybe 200,050. But still, you know, I mean, it's good money making for sure. Is it fun to play? It can be. But it also has those moments like you saw in that last battle where there's just nothing you can do to stop what's happening. And that's a little frustrating when one tank can overpower both of you because he gets spotting and they have 3 artillery and you're done. So, you know, and you want to quote unquote get already safe, but how can you get already safe? Because you can't even move. It takes you 45 minutes to back 5 feet. So that's the downside with this tank. And really, that's the weakness of this tank. So you've seen good games with it. You've seen bad games with it. I feel like I've given you a good wide range of what it can do. And, you know, you got to see Black Chicken pull off 112,000 and 96,000 take-home battle. And so it happens in this tank. And it happens to me, too. Believe me, I have times when it does really well. But it's not a performer, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's a fun tank, but it's not a tank that's going to change the side of battle. If things aren't going well, you're pretty much doomed. So anyway, hope you guys had a great night and enjoyed this video, and I will be sure to see you on the battlefield. And if you see me once again now doing, just send an invite. If I'm busy or if I'm in my clan, I'll tell you, hey, I'm clanning right now. But if you see me doing a review, and I'll pick you guys up. So have a great night, and be sure to subscribe. Thumbs up help too. I'm learning that. So give me a thumbs up on the video if you liked it, but don't give me a thumbs down. Go somewhere else. I'm just kidding. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you. Bye.